Every day in America, 572 people wake up, log into work, and discover they've been replaced by an algorithm. Not tomorrow, not next quarter, today. Through October 2025, 156,726 workers across 540 tech companies received termination notices. That's not a workforce adjustment, that's a demographic event. The math is brutal and unrelenting. More than 500,000 jobs vanishing daily, with the pace accelerating like a freight train with cut brakes. September closed as the third worst month on record, hemorrhaging over 19,000 tech positions in 30 days. July was worse, posting a 140% surge over the previous year, with 62,075 cuts announced in a single month. But here's what should terrify anyone with a mortgage and a desk job. This isn't just tech anymore. Banking, healthcare, customer service, retail, aviation, the contagion is spreading. And the next 6 months look like an economic slaughterhouse. Projections show 600,000 jobs lost against only 100,000 created by April 2026, producing a net destruction of 500,000 livelihoods. That's not disruption. That's devastation with a spreadsheet. The casualties aren't hypothetical. They have names, addresses, and families asking why dad's home at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. Microsoft eliminated more than 15,000 positions in 2025, with 9,000 cuts concentrated in gaming and cloud operations. CEO Satya Nadella cheerfully announced that AI tools like GitHub Copilot now write up to 30% of new code, as if this revelation wouldn't send chills through every software engineer in Redmond. Another 6,500 Microsoft employees in legal, engineering, and product management received their walking papers shortly after. IBM took a different approach to the same conclusion, laying off around 8,000 employees primarily from human resources. The replacement? An internal AI chatbot called Ask HR. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a knife. The department responsible for managing people was itself managed out of existence by software that can't tell the difference between empathy and an emoji. When your HR department gets replaced by a chatbot, you're not optimizing efficiency. You're admitting you never valued human judgment in the first place. Intel is pursuing what might be the most ambitious self-immolation in corporate history, eliminating up to 10,000 jobs in a bid to reduce its overall workforce by 20%. That's not trimming fat. That's amputating limbs and hoping you can still run the marathon. Accenture eliminated over 11,000 positions in 3 months as part of an $865 million restructuring program, simultaneously training 70,000 remaining employees in AI. The message to workers is clear. Learn to use the tool that's replacing your colleagues, or become the next quarterly earnings footnote. Salesforce's trajectory illustrates the carnage in real numbers. The company slashed customer support roles from 9,000 to 5,000, with leadership proclaiming that AI can handle 50% of the work. 4,000 human beings with mortgages, car payments, and kids in college were informed that an algorithm could adequately address customer frustration. Anyone who screamed at an automated phone system knows how that experiment ends. But by the time companies figure out they've destroyed their customer relationships, the executives who made the decision will have already collected their bonuses and moved on. The creative sector isn't immune. Duolingo, the cheerful language learning app fronted by a cartoon owl, cut 240 jobs, 22% of its entire staff. Fiverr went even harder, eliminating 250 positions representing 30% of its workforce, as the CEO declared the company's transformation into an AI-first operation. Translation: we're betting the company on technology that may or may not work, and you're the chips we're pushing into the center of the table. Just Eat Takeaway eliminated 450 positions across customer service and sales, explicitly citing increased automation and AI implementation as the reason. At least they were honest about it. Even industries built on human interaction are embracing the automation fantasy. Sky is gutting thousands of contact center roles in a shift toward digital and AI-driven support channels. Lufthansa announced 4,000 job cuts by 2030, as it leans on AI to increase efficiency. Apparently, the airline industry looked at customer satisfaction scores and decided what passengers really want is more interaction with chatbots when their flight gets canceled at midnight. Through July alone, more than 10,000 job cuts were directly attributed to AI adoption. That's the number companies were willing to admit. Another 20,000 cuts were blamed on technological updates, including automation, corporate euphemism for the same damn thing. When you add those figures together, you get over 30,000 people who lost their jobs to algorithms in 7 months. And that's just counting the companies honest enough to name the executioner. The banking sector is preparing for a bloodbath that makes current cuts look like a preview. Global banks will eliminate as many as 200,000 jobs in the next 3 to 5 years, as AI encroaches on tasks that human analysts, loan officers, and operations staff currently handle. Chief Information and Technology Officers surveyed indicated an average 3% workforce reduction, which sounds modest until you remember that major banks employ hundreds of thousands of people. JP Morgan executives told investors that operations and support staff would fall by at least 10% over 5 years. 10% of JP Morgan's support workforce represents thousands of families suddenly wondering how to pay for college and retirement. The World Economic Forum projects 83 million jobs lost and 69 million created by 2027, producing a net destruction of 14 million positions globally, 2% of the entire workforce vanishing into the algorithmic void. 40% of employers anticipate reducing headcount between 2025 and 2030 in areas where AI can automate tasks. That's not a minority of companies hedging their bets. That's nearly half of all employers planning to fire people and replace them with software. Call centers face an existential threat. Forecasts range from modest single-digit percentage losses to as many as half of all call center jobs disappearing within a decade. 13% of service firms anticipate AI-related layoffs over the next 6 months alone. These aren't abstract projections, they're execution schedules. Somewhere in America right now, a call center manager is reviewing spreadsheets and circling names, knowing that by spring, those people will be filing for unemployment. Entry-level workers are getting obliterated. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei forecasts that 50% of entry-level jobs may be wiped out as AI technology improves. Let that sink in. Half of all entry-level positions, the jobs that used to be the first rung on the career ladder, could simply cease to exist. Unemployment among 20 to 30-year-olds in tech-exposed occupations has risen by almost 3 percentage points since the start of 2025. An entire generation is watching the career pathways their parents took get bulldozed before they can even submit an application. Healthcare administrative positions aren't safe either. 40% of medical coding is projected to be automated by 2025. We're already there. 85% of recruitment screening and 90% of benefits administration functions are expected to be automated between 2025 and 2027. The people who schedule your appointments, process your insurance claims, and manage hospital staffing are being systematically eliminated. When your claim gets denied by an algorithm that can't understand context, remember that companies chose this. Some executives are belatedly realizing they've made a catastrophic mistake. Only 1% of services firms reported AI as the reason for layoffs in the past 6 months, down from 10% in 2024. Critics say companies are using AI as a convenient excuse to conceal overhiring during COVID, which means these cuts were coming regardless. AI just provided cover. Gartner predicts that by 2027, 50% of businesses planning major customer service job cuts due to AI will reverse course. That's corporate speak for, we're about to destroy our companies and will desperately rehire people in 2 years, but good luck surviving the interim. The pattern is consistent across every sector. Companies are making trillion-dollar bets on technology that hasn't proven it can replace human judgment, adaptability, or institutional knowledge. They're firing experienced workers and hoping algorithms trained on historical data can navigate unprecedented situations. They're prioritizing short-term cost savings over long-term organizational resilience. And when the house of cards collapses, the executives responsible will have already parachuted to their next positions. What makes this different from previous technological disruptions is the speed and scale. The Industrial Revolution displaced workers over decades. Factory automation unfolded over generations. This is happening in quarters. Companies are eliminating thousands of positions in single announcements, with more cuts planned before anyone can assess whether the first round even worked. There's no gradual transition, no retraining period, no social safety net designed for this velocity of displacement. The cruelest part is that much of this destruction is unnecessary. Study after study shows that AI works best as a complement to human workers, not a replacement. Companies that deploy AI strategically, enhancing employee capabilities rather than eliminating employees, report productivity gains without the organizational carnage. But strategic implementation doesn't produce the dramatic cost reductions that goose quarterly earnings reports. So executives are choosing the nuclear option and hoping the fallout settles before anyone notices.
The next 6 months will determine whether this becomes a temporary dislocation or a permanent restructuring of American employment. 500,000 jobs are projected to vanish by April 2026. That's 500,000 families facing financial uncertainty, 500,000 workers flooding a job market that's already saturated, 500,000 people discovering that their years of experience and institutional knowledge matter less than an algorithm that costs their employer $200 monthly in subscription fees. Every projection assumes AI will deliver on its promises. Every forecast presumes that algorithms can handle the complexity, ambiguity, and judgment calls that human workers navigate daily. Every model treats employees as interchangeable units of production rather than repositories of hard-won expertise. And when these assumptions prove wrong, when customer satisfaction craters, when operations break down, when problems arise that AI can't solve, companies will sheepishly announce they're rebalancing their workforce. But the damage will already be done. The workers who got fired won't magically reappear. The institutional knowledge will be gone. The trust between employers and employees will be shattered. And the executives who made these decisions will move on to their next companies, their next disruptions, their next rounds of layoffs dressed up as innovation. 572 people lose their jobs every day to AI. By next spring, that number could double. This isn't the future of work. It's the present reality, unfolding in real time across every sector of the economy. The question isn't whether AI will transform employment. It already has. The question is whether we'll sleepwalk through the largest workforce displacement in modern history and pretend it was inevitable, or whether we'll demand that companies prove AI can actually do the jobs before they fire the humans who currently do them. The data is in. The bodies are piling up. The projections are apocalyptic, and somewhere in a boardroom right now, an executive is approving another round of cuts, confident that AI will fill the gap, and absolutely certain that when it all goes wrong, they won't be the one left holding the bag. Watch out, America. The algorithm is coming for your job next. At Market Media, your opinion matters to us. Have you lost your job to AI, or are you worried your position is next? Share your story in the comments below.